Whoops. Thought I was talking to you. Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Sorry about that. Let's see. TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. Yes, indeed. Another fun-filled week. Could be very entertaining. The markets are... It's the summer months, the doldrums. We've talked about it many times. You see it in the Trader's Almanac, and, how these are the days, and this particular time period is the one that's basically is very sloppy. We go into buys, we go back into sells, we do move all kinds of directions. There's this just all kinds of action that just keeps everybody entertained. I guess that's the best way to say it. Kind of confused more than entertained, that's for sure. And that is exactly what's going on right now. Let's see how we're doing here with this. There's the, oh, no, I thought I had that in there already. Let's put the dollar Swiss in there. There it is right there. Let's move our fact check spreadsheet over like so, right there. And it looks good. And let's get our Chicago quant up there in a visible way like so. And I think we're all set up. Yes, indeed. You can see how we monitor the world, or how we see markets every day. That's the cool thing. That's exactly what it comes down to. Let's see. Let me see how that looks. That looks pretty good. I'm not complaining. It looks good. And you can see here a little pressure here with the hinky ashy, but look at the white lines. This is the definitely leading indicator right here. The white line and the dashed gold looking, that's the thing that matches up to Doc's math the closest. It's about a 68-69% accuracy rate to mine. It follows it, but still it's much more advanced, and that's always a cool thing, Oh, excuse me. Where'd that come from? All right. What can we say about today? We really don't believe that there's a lot. Oh, let me check the fact checks, the chat line too. There's not a lot to be said about this action because it is that time of the year. We have a lot of noise. We have enormous amounts of noise going on. Politically and just financially. All kinds of information is flying all over the place, and so. What we have is, what's the way to describe it? We have the Fed chair. He wants his job. He wants to keep his job. And he wants a second bite of the apple, I guess you could say. And so his job's up in February. So he's going to be very accommodating. He's going to make sure that the markets... I saw a headline. Let me digress a little bit here. Saw a headline over the weekend. I think it was Friday evening maybe, or even Saturday morning. And what it said was... Didn't know the Fed now claims to be responsible for a stable economy. That's what created the Federal Reserve, to remove recessions and booms. In this case here, we've gotten to the point now where it's just one big giant boom. If it wasn't for the COVID back in and the volatility funds. Back in February and March of 2020, we would not have seen that 33% retracement of the marketplace. But it was there, for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and those companies went out of business and they lost billions. And the Federal Reserve probably thought, let it fly, and it did, and push those guys out of business. And what it did is, I've talked about it many a time, it made it easier. Much easier for the Federal Reserve to control the economy and the markets more. Now, how long that'll go on for? As long as the world is willing to allow the Federal Reserve to be in control. I think that's the best way to describe it. In control. And so that's where we are at the moment. Now, it's the summer months. It's dead, and it's trying to come out of it. We have incredible amounts of odd news, with the Afghanistan situation and our border situation. And even the mainstream media here in the States, the media is going nuts to the point where they have polls even like, the left-wing polls are showing that people don't trust Mr. Biden anymore. They don't think he's capable of being president. Things like that. Oh, wow. It's amazing that sooner or later it has to happen. There's middle age. Gold just peaked its head back up above 1800, Doc, waiting on Jackson Hole. Did you hear? They announced that Jackson Hole is going to be a Zoom now. So I guess everybody's going to be in their estates and their hotel rooms and so forth and communicate that way. I guess that's what I'm told, is it's not going to be, the people walking around and, and you're going to see, like, Jeff Bezos talking with, talking with someone like, let me throw somebody out there, like Ted Cruz, all these wild pictures that occur where you see people from different forms of the political spectrum, walking and talking like you would never think that they could be even on the same, live in the same state, be in the same city with each other, but let alone walking and talking out in the middle of the most rich, do you know that Jackson Hole is considered the richest county in America? We have counties, and counties make up states, and so, yeah, exactly. So they announced that, I believe, on Friday evening. They announced that Jackson Hole will be a Zoom and not in person. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. You know how they like to say one thing, and then the next thing you know, you'll see pictures with people talking and sitting at tables with no masks on and what they call distancing, and people will be like, "Wait a minute, I thought that they were just Zooming." So, all right, let's middle age just mentioned gold, so let's drift over to gold and see what it looks like. I'm gonna tie into that for a second. We'll move away from the currencies for a second and take a look at that, and then we'll go back to the currencies. And there is gold, and now you can see what I see. Can you see what I see? Do 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 do. And there it is on J4X at the same time. And that's what's probably going to go on. Now you can see there, gold has made a nice spike. Let's give it a Control R to make sure it is still up there. Yes, it is. 1801 now. And you can see the daily is trying to pierce its head up. You can see we closed in a weekly buy. Wonder what they're doing to, like, silver. We always say that, the last 5-6 days it seems like they're doing the pairs trade. They're buying gold, selling silver. Or platinum. Platinum got its head handed to it itself last week. Let's take a look at the silvers first. Okay, silver's doing it too. Yeah, that's matter of fact, I guess we sent that out this morning looking that way, So silver is doing it also. They got that strength in there. But again, we're in the weekly sell, so it's awful hard. And this is like, what, the 15th? What's that, line 8? Yeah, line 9. 15 weeks in a sell. Copper is just 1 week in a sell. And you've got platinum. Where's platinum at? 16 weeks in a sell. So, whereas gold is 2 weeks in a buy. So they're doing the pairs trade. That's what they're doing here. They probably, I think we talked about this on Friday. I said something like gold, is physically less, to have X amount of equity at the same time. In other words, an ounce is 1,800. An ounce of platinum is, 1,000 or, let's see what it is, 900 or 800 or something like that. Let's go back to platinum. The silver is $23.50 an ounce. So why not buy gold and sell the other two? Because they know that the central banks are pushing it hard on it. Okay, yeah. So the platinum is trading at 1,000. There it was on last night. It was up to. What was last night? Last night it got up to 1,012, and now today it was up to 1,018. For some reason, this is showing you the chart of last night and today. Sunday night trading and then Monday trading. So. They are, I guess they're lifting all those boats, aren't they? All those boats are lifting. We'll see what that all means. We need weekly buys. See, no weekly buy. Oh, you can't see that. Let's just go back to this again. There we are. No weekly buy there. And on platinum. Let's see if it shows up on the screen here. There it is. No weekly buy there. No, let's see, where's that? Right here. For gold, we are in the weekly buy, so that's the one you want to be long, that's for sure. And in silver, same situation, no weekly buy. See, so I don't, we'll see if they can squeeze shorts or do something to get these things going. Robin and I just shake our heads constantly about the fact that they can't. It's kind of disappointing always. We're like, what? Why can't they get this stuff going? Isn't there issues in the world? I guess not. The buyer of last resort is not it anymore, is it? All right. Thank you for bringing that up, Middle Age. We're going to drift back to currencies. And if you do see something you want to look at, just scream it out. We'll be right there again. We'll join right in. Now, let's finish off the Swiss. But I like that. I like the idea of drifting around, looking at different products. We don't have to go through the currencies the way I do. It's just that if no one's going to say anything, I've got to have some type of pattern, and that's the one I follow. But I am very glad to deviate from it. Now let's get back to the dollar and the Swiss, and you can see right there, Swiss is moving down a little bit, which makes it bullish, right? When it goes down, it means that there's less Swiss to a dollar, which is bullish. And you can see here, Hinky Ashi showing same situation, except for we're trying to slide into the sell there. You can see it's vacillating. Let's move this over a little bit on the Swiss. You see it's almost unchanged, and it's flirting with the sell, whereas still over here on J4X, it's still moving up but curving, and you got a red Hinky giving you a warning. So our tools on the J4X are doing just fine. I can tell you that I don't think there's a better indicator than this one I have on the J4X to follow the markets the most accurately and the most expediently, minus my math. I think that's the way I look at it. When people go, oh, you got to use the MACD, it's a leading indicator. It's like, no, that's not a leading indicator. It's a lagging indicator when you look at the stochastics. I guess in many ways we are going into the, Norbert-Warner level of things in mathematics, in the sense that we're looking at, stochastics and waves and so forth. He was big on electrical engineering and stochastics and all that. Cybernetics, the man was a cyberneticist. Matter of fact, I was reading something about Mr. Warner, or her Professor Warner, considered the child genius of the 20th century. And he helped Al Einstein out on his Brownian motion and so forth, and a lot of other things. And stochastics was one of his heavy, groovy things. He loved it. He may be considered, he's one of the pillars of the 20th century. Born in 18 something, graduated high school at the age of 11, graduated college at the age of 15, got his PhD at 18. Just awesome character, just an awesome guy. And he was big fan of stochastics, and so am I. And my math incorporates it. I take my math formula and throw it inside the stochastics, and that's why it has a 68 or 70, right around 70%, just a little underneath, correlation to my math, because I'm using it for a smoothing factor. And when you make the two compete against each other, it correlates almost, it's a little under 70% of the time to my math. That's because I have that special sauce, that secret ingredients that is one step beyond. It gives us the process of a where and when in a plus and a minus, and that's that holy grail of quantum mechanics, and Schrodinger and his cat, and Al Einstein and so forth, on trying to unite concepts of gravity and movement, and so forth, and objects on an electromagnetic surface. Again, the waves, So anyway, let's keep on rolling with the homies. All right, let's go over to the euro and see what the euro is doing. And please, anybody out there listening, you can interrupt and say, hey, I want to see this, or I'm confused about that, or I would like to know more, or I want to look at, silver, or I want to look at oil, or you can just jump in and just be part of the trading pit here. This is the electronic cyber trading pit. And you're just another one of us, just standing in the crowd. All right, let's go take a look at the euro. And there it is right there. You can see the euro is moving back up. You can see it's piercing the buy. And you can see, look at that on the weekly. We're starting to see some real life. Because there's the zero line. We've been in a weekly sell on that product, as you see on the fact check spreadsheet, since here. And you can see on the line 14 of the fact check spreadsheet, it says 11 full weeks in a weekly sell. Let's see, what else can we say about that? And we see the pressure trying to build on the upside. Maybe they're going to sell a little dollar, sell that dollar, buy that euro, Whereas you don't see it as much. Let's go back to Swiss just for a second. You see it's like unchanged. It's right there. It was roaring along. It got down to here, and now it's back up to there. All right, now let's jump over to cable. Oh, also at the same time on the weekly too on the Swiss. You can see we are. Where are we? We're in a weekly sell still. It's trying. You can see this is a gas. This is gas line 3.5, and the 5 is the blue dashed line, and it is wrestling. Tried to show us that there was strength. You see that strength right there. It jumped off and tried to tell us about it, but overall, gas line 3 just could not join in. And we'll see if this thing rolls over and they want to head down now. That's what it looks like. So in other words, the dollar will weaken more. That's what it's trying to say. All right, we go to the cable. Let's see what the Great British Pound is doing. It's trying to lift up. It's been in a weekly sell for 2 full weeks, but it's trying to lift today. And you can see this is also in a gas line 3.5, and you can see that right there trying to bounce up. And the green and the histogram are also trying to bounce up. And you can see here on the daily, it's trying to bounce up. They're all trying to bounce up. It's all trying to do its thing, That thing it does. And so at this point in time, what this all is saying to us is that the dollar is weakening. Yeah, that's what it's saying. I don't know how much weakness we'll see, but that's what it's doing right now. It's trying to weaken. It's trying to become weaker. They're trying to buy the other pairs. They're trying to sell the dollars. All right. Now, what we do is we drift over to the Turkish lira. Right there. It emphasizes at the same time that they are selling the dollars and buying the Turkish lira. It's dropping, and that's bullish for it. But our weekly on that thing is way, way down. We drift over to the euro. Let's put it on J4X too. And we should do a quick peek of the euro too at the same time, just to confirm. Well, there's cable, so we just left the cable. And you can see that on J4X, and we'll show you there. See, it's trying to pierce up. Hasn't gone green or anything like ours. Let's see where that is right there. It's got red dots too. Hinky Ashi's red there. Line trying to pierce. This is breaking the time manifold there. So they're both joining together. Same thing with, let's confirm it with the euro too. I like to constantly confirm so the traders will have more confidence in using the J4X when they don't have anything else to use. When obviously you have a chance to look at Doc's work, you tune in every day to Dukascopy, and here I am. You get a chance to ask questions because we are all part of the cyber trading pit. This is just one big electronic trading pit nowadays. And then there's the euro. Euro is doing the same thing. Matter of fact, it's piercing. It's showing some real strength compared to all the other tools. Now let's take a look at it on J4X. Sometimes I get carried away and I forget to show you what it's doing on the J4X. And that's okay, because maybe I'm explaining things to everybody. There you go. Look at that. Green dot and a green hinky. And what's the line doing? Same thing as this is doing. They're both piercing and telling us that the buyers are coming in for the product and selling the dollars. And that's how it always works. All right, traders. Is that cool or what? All right, now let's drift over to back to the Turkish lira. Right there. And let's go take a look at the Euro Turkish lira at this point. Right there, which seems to me to be, a very good indicator of where the Turkish lira is going. Much better than the dollar Turkish lira pairs. Right there. All right. There we go. I'm just answering somebody real quick. There we go. And I'm done that text. There we go. Alright, now as you can see, and I wasn't looking because I was looking at another screen, you can see this is moving down, which is even, is bullish. Now, what's interesting though is you can see that the line is moving up. That's very interesting. Now let's see what we have here. Same situation, it's been up in a daily buy for a few days, but starting to roll over here. You see that? And so maybe this will start to curve very soon. And if not, it's going to be very short-lived, this move, in the Turkish lira and the euro pairs trade. But at this point in time, and then you can see our weekly so far down there. It's barely, it's fighting to get to this negative time manifold there. The non-linear time manifold. Indeed. And you can see here, they're starting to tighten up, as Middle Age mentions. When it gets tight, you get action. See that? Got tight there, you got action. Maybe it gets tight and we're in buys and it goes up and the dollar is strong against it. Who knows, or vice versa. But we only watch the math and we'll find out. Alrighty, let's go back to the, what's the next product we go to from here? From here we go to, I see, Turkish lira. So we go over to Canadian now. Take a peek at the Canadian and see what that is all about. What is that all about? The Canadian. We'll see what that's all about. All right. Right there. There's a Canadian. Let's get it up on J4X. It's around here somewhere. There it is. All right. Oh, look at that. That's interesting because it jumped into that buy there like a week and a half back or so. What is it on the fact check? That's line 20. 6 full days in a buy. It's still in a buy, but it's definitely moving down fast and furious. Look at that. So we've gone from, I'm not sure to do that, but we've gone from 129.49 as a high, right? Is that right? Yeah. Down to 127.12. Wow, two full. Nice, 2 full points. Interesting. But you can see here, the weekly is still above, has not broken that time manifold, and we're in a buy there. And then let's check it here. You can see just a little weakness kicking in right there, which is pretty interesting. And the Hinky Ashi is trapped dead center there. We've got a red going on. It does not at the moment. We'll see. Let's see how it all plays out. Sometimes, what do we see? Oh, it was oil, right? Oil was ahead of the curve when it came to on the Hinky, on the J4X compared to our work, which is really upside down in many ways at the moment in oil. Then we got into the sell there last week, and it fell and basically made back what it lost. And now, it's I think it's bouncing up today or something like that. And so, from Canadian, that's where we do go. We jump right over to that area and take a look and see. We'll put it up on J4X to start off with. There it is. Yeah, it definitely looks like it's trying to lift, that's for sure. Because we were in the 62s, 61s, I think. Now we're in the 64s. And then we will throw it up on Chicago Quant and watch the correlation between that and J4X. And the key word there is correlation. Definitely correlation. They do correlate together. As you can see right there, it's lifting. It's above the daily buy easily. The weekly sell is still predominant, and the green line is still piercing down. So it's not screaming in any real fashion there. Might be a dead cat bounce, you know, dead cat bounce. Meaning that the power of it is more just through inertia than it is about the fact of change itself. So it's not changing a vector, it's just bouncing from the kinetic energy that is diminishing. Entropy. And so that's where we are right there, like that. And then you can see it here. It's trying to come up to that line. It's been red. It's been red. Look at that. It's been red here. Whereas we went into that buy there, right there. And J4X did not, you know, it curved up for these and then rolled over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, going on a 7th day. And we're only 4th day on a sell, and already it's just 3 solids. So it made back this loss. Had to be really nimble. And, you know, we went into the weekly sell at the beginning of last week, and you could play the shorts in a very nimble way. If you're doing it through derivatives or binaries, obviously it was a winner-winner, chicken dinner. But if you're just doing the hard delta, then you have to be much more nimble. And that's how that is. It's not been pretty. And this is where that 1.5 occurs. Every so often we get a, you know, a black swan, I guess you could say. And that's our black swan. It's not the worst thing in the world, I can tell you that. Let's see, what else can we say about this action? Just that J4X is still screaming at us since 4, 5, 6, since like right here. You know, don't be long. You know, there's 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6, 7 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. So right there, it was like no. It was like literally a day ahead of time or something like that. 2 days ahead of time. So happens, and that's why we use both of them. Makes you think a lot, you know. Makes you pay attention. Makes you use good money management skills. And that's an important factor. We talk about that. Robin's always talking about it. You know, he's trying to emphasize that to people, get them to understand what they need to do to be successful. Indeed, indeed. All right. That's the name of that game. Now let's jump over to, let's see, where are we there? There we are. Let's see. We'll go to the gold, because usually we look at the gold, we look at the crude oil, and then and we've started to look at the metals because Middle Age spotted that action. So we'll go back to the gold and silver and platinum and look at it a little bit more in depth. Is that right? No. Which one is it? It's that one right there. There we are. And let's drift over to that precious metal. So you can see here strength through the buy. You know, going on a 3rd week of the buy. And let's put it on J4X. Right there. Nice spike. Looks good. And you'll see, I'm sure, the white line piercing a couple days ago, or at least now, one or the other, it'll spit out. Come on, you can do that. There it goes. Yeah, it tried to drift underneath, just like ours. You notice here, we went into a sell right there. But it caught that move up, and now it's joining in again with Chicago Quant, and they're telling us that there's more buyers than sellers. That's pretty much the concept of it all. I always describe it as a scrum line, or in touch, out of touch, because this is an international webinar. So I use, you know, international sports to describe it at times. So those who understand rugby, it's the scrum line, and the scrum itself, where the offense and defensive line is defined. Or if it's English football, then it's the in touch, out of touch, and that's inbounds, out of bounds for us Americans. And then if you want to get a little bit deeper into it, rounders. So we can talk about cricket, and a sixer, goes out of play, and you get 6 runs. So that is what we're talking about. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Okay. Now, or better yet, as I like to describe it, as more buyers than sellers, or more sellers than buyers. One or the other. That's what it really comes down to. There's more buyers than sellers, and it goes up in value, or there's more sellers than buyers, and it goes down in value. It outnumbers them. All right. Let's see. What are we looking at here? We are looking at the silver now. See the same thing going on. Daily buy is trying to perk up. We did mention the weekly is having its issues. It's not willing to really get rolling along yet on the weekly basis, which means obviously longer term money is not. I don't want to. It's a play on words, I guess you could say. It's not buying it. In other words, they're not accepting it, and obviously they're not buying it also. But that's what it comes down to, is they're not accepting it yet. Longer term money is not accepting it. And same thing is going on, on J4X there. You see it right there. There's the silver. And they're trying. It was 59. Now it's 64 offered in the silver. You can see we got a green, hinky, ashy. We've got the white line begging to jump through the dash line. We should see that occur over the next hour or so on the J4X. And then from there we really can't see. They don't do platinum over on Dukascopy. So what we'll do is we will just jump over to. Let's do something fun. We'll jump over to copper. Yeah, copper right there. And there's the copper. You can see the strength on copper. It's moving up. And we'll take a look at it. I know we closed in a daily sell on Friday in copper, because I sent the chart out, and I remember seeing it a few minutes ago. You can see here, the strength is there, but look at the weekly. Weekly is still minus. And obviously they're not getting them to buy the longer term view also. It just is what it is. We follow the math, we watch the markets move, and we try to take profits from it every day. All right, so that's the copper, and you know what? I'll give you for those that do follow the platinum, I'll give you a quick look at the platinum again. Where's it at? And we can take a look at Nat Gas too. Nat Gas was doing a little jumping around. There's the platinum on Chicago Quant. You see it's been moving up in a daily buy for 2 days. This is the 3rd day. Actually, I think it's just 2 days. Friday it closed in a buy. It's showing us a Sunday night bar and a Monday bar. So it's really just one full day in a buy going on a 2nd day. And then, let's see, where do we go? We go to the Nat Gas right there. Nat Gas was trying to project a buy signal when we sent the charts out this morning. Okay, yeah, it's still there. So I just refreshed it. You can see this is through. This is through. It's no dot there. It was a red dot there a few seconds ago, then I refreshed it. You can see the weekly is minus. It went into a weekly sell on Friday there. And then let's take a look at it over at J4X. They have the natural gas market also. Gas, there it is. And as you can see, it's trying to turn up. It's gotten through its line. We here on Chicago Quant doing the same exact thing. So yeah, just constantly try to show you that we can find some public tools if put together correctly. You know, using some of the great mathematicians' ideas of the last couple of centuries, last 3 or 4, you know, Gauss, Euler, Werner, what was his name? Von Neumann, you know. And I like to throw this one out there. Dyson, the late, great Freeman Dyson. Nice man. I talked to him. Cool guy. I was at his 90th birthday, and I was like, make the 95th. I'm trying to think. I think I did. You know, Dyson was a great... he was like Warner in many ways, helping out the great scientist with his ideas, you know, with the math, you know, whereas Warner was a little bit more, even more innovative in his own way, I guess you could say. Let's see. In many ways, you should read Freeman Dyson's books. He was literally an observer. Not only was he a mathematician and physicist who could help a great professor help people learn, but he was a true observer. He had kept daily logs. I don't think I'm in there, of course, but because I tried not to be so prolific, I tried to hide my math. But if I had shown him my math, I would have been in one of his books. Let's see, where else are we now? Natural gas, that's it. All right, we're done the energy sector, we're done the metal sector, and what we're going to do now is drift back over to the currencies. And no one's asking any particular questions there. Let's see what that is. Just seeing. All set today, Dukascopy. Good morning, Dukascopy family. Yes, cool. Alrighty, now let's drift over to... we'll do it from J4X first. We'll take a look at this. Oh, that's cool. We'll jump over to the South African Rand. Usually with the action we're seeing with the metals complex, we'd have to assume this product is going down. Now it has been fighting that for a bunch of days. Like a week or so, actually, to be exact. There it is right there. There's South African Rand. You see it is now moving down on J4X there. We're going to go hunt it down on, you can see Hinky Ash is still plus. You see the line is bent over, trying to go down and pierce the dashed line. And then we go over to it on Chicago Quant, right there. You see the same thing is going on. It's bending over, and it's heading down towards the 0 line, but it's been in that weekly buy. Not really reflecting the strength in the metals complex, especially gold. You know, gold has been reflecting a lot of strength there, and it just seems to be dodging it at the moment. So that's the issues we're really dealing with at the moment. Indeed, indeed. All right. Let's see. What else can we say about all that? I guess that's about it when it comes to the South African Rand. And we don't know how much Zuma is involved in that either. Zuma, the former former president, part of the ANC, is basically having issues with the ruling president of the ANC. And that's what the battle is all about. And then we drift over to, where do we go from there? We go over to the ruble. And there's the ruble. You can see it's trying to roll over also. And it did close in a weekly buy last week. Let's put that in there. Right there. And you can see it also on the fact check spreadsheet. Right. Let's see, which one is it? Right there. Ruble on line, what is it? Line, there it is, line 18. So, wait a second here. Why is that saying 2 weeks? Interesting. We put that in wrong, don't we? Gotta move that over. and push that over and put the 1 in there on the buy side. And but the daily is accurate. We're 3 days in a daily buy, still a 4th day right now. But I'm a little confused why the ruble didn't have that 1 in there. Let's save that. So tomorrow when we look at it, we're not having to fix it again. All right. Then from there we drift over to, let's take a look at it in the J4X too. Right there, dollar ruble. And you can see that's pushing up, and the daily is following our daily very comfortably at the moment. Getting a little close more on the J4X, but you got the greens. You got the greens there. And that's the action we see. Now we jump over to the Japanese yen. Read something very interesting about the yen and interest rates. They say that when you look at the world markets and the way interest rates move every time zone, or not every time, I guess, like the 3 major time zones, the Asian market, ours, with New Zealand and Singapore and Tokyo and China and Thailand and all that, Hong Kong, whatever. And then that's like 1, and then the second one is basically Frankfurt and Switzerland and Milan and London and so forth. Amsterdam, Barcelona, so forth and so on. Then you have the third one, the United States, the time zone, and there's, some of them overlap each other, or some just end at one and begin with the other. And they say that in the Asian hours, specifically the Japanese trading hours, interest rates are being pushed down. So it seems like the Japanese investors are buying bonds, whereas that had not been the case for a while. I mean, aggressively, buying them aggressively. But I thought that was a very interesting statistic, And so there you are. You can see the yen. Let's see what it looks like right there. And as you can see there, I've seen a lot of Dukascopy communications going on. What's going on here? So just make sure I'm not in it. Don't want to miss anything. There we are. And so there's the yen. You can see the yen is still fighting to stay in that daily buy, but we're in that weekly sell, and it doesn't seem to be telling us anything more positive than that. Same thing here. You can see it's been in the daily buy for a few days, and it's going in and out a little bit with a red one and now a green one again. You can see here we've been stuck on the greens for 4 days, and it's holding on by a hair. It's tightening up dramatically. Look at the time manifold. The non-linear time manifold is tightening up enormously. Same thing on the weekly too. Christmas live cattle and Christmas corn, Doc. Sure. And let me do this. Let me do the Mexican peso. And I'm going to set that up also. I'm just going to throw the Mexican peso up on the screen so you can see where it's at. And then we will dissect. I'm setting it up now that you can see it on the screen there. The Mexican peso has been moving up. We're getting that big hump that we thought we were going to see. Now I'm setting up deck corn for you at the moment. And let's see. So there's the action there, and we will show you how it looks on J4X. And then we're going to jump over to the grains for middle age. And where's the Mexican peso? I hear John Wayne's movie all the time when I say that. Mexican peso. You can see the strength in it there. It's doing this one. We thought it would do this one. Whereas the other two, whoa, let's see if we can grab a hold of it again. Whereas we saw the other two, were very small. This bounce right here, and this bounce right here. But this had that big upwardly momentum, just like this one did. And we thought we're going to get a better bounce out of it, and we surely are. And that's even above its close of Friday, so there you go. All right, now we go to middle age And we look at that, and I think we can even put soybeans up for Dukascopy fans, because they do carry that. Now let's see, where do we go here? There it is. And we tune in to, right there. And there is corn. Did you say corn? Yeah, corn. There's deck corn. Let's give it a refresh too, a Control R. There we are. You see it's in the sell now for a bunch of days. And you can see the weekly went into a sell, and now it's already bouncing this week, starting off with the buy. I thought I had a little circle there. It is there. Can you see that little circle? Let's see. We need to emphasize that circle. If you can't see it, make it thickerish. Oh, I think that does it. Is that, yeah, it's a little bit more visible there. You see it's climbing into the buy. So if this thing tries to get through the daily buy number, you know, it's telling you that the buying is starting to kick up there again. Now we drift over to live cattle. Deck live cattle. Deck? Yeah, deck live cattle. All right. Christmas cattle. Spoken like a true floor trader. All right. And there it is. Deck cattle. And that's October cattle. Where's the deck? There's the deck cattle. There it is right there. You see, that's been in a daily buy for 2, 4, 6, going on a 7th day. No, 7 days, going on an 8th day. Remember, they're not trading this live at the moment. And at the same time, the weekly has been across the zero line. Let's just emphasize the zero line here, because we're using the plain gas for this. Right there. It's been across in a buy since like this week right in here. Went into the buy. Confirmed it by the close. It's been kind of sideways and now just lifting up again, isn't it? That's interesting. Let's go take a look at October cattle too. And where are you at? October cattle. Let's see what October cattle looks like. Now you have my curiosity up. Same situation. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 full days. Same situation. Was that a week later? No, maybe not. Let's see. Let's see, which one is it? There's a plus. And that was a minus. So it just barely didn't make it. But that would have been there. Okay, so it's the same thing. It went into the buy that week. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. We've seen some selling going on, you know. Let's see what Dukascopy has. Dukascopy has the soybeans, I can tell you that. They played the biggies, you know. Let's see. There's Brent. There's copper. There's gas, light. There's soybeans right there. Let's see how soybeans look. And that's how we have it too. Let's go over to soybeans. You can see it on Dukascopy. Soybeans have been moving down. You can see the red hinky ashies. Same situation with Doc's math right there. Red dots moving down. And you can see we've been in a daily sell since right there. And J4X has been in a daily sell the same way for the last bunch of days. So there it is. Cool, huh? Good short-term thing there. All right, what else can we say about any of that? Don't have much more to say, but that's what's going on. I'm surprised Dukascopy hasn't moved into the corn market or the wheat market also, because they're pretty liquid also. But there's no doubt the world does follow soybeans, because I guess the three things of it, you got the oil, you got the meal, and you got the soybeans itself. You got the Chicago Crush, or CRT, Chicago Research Technology. I'm trying to say their names. I can see their faces because I traded on the floor with them. The brothers and all like that, and the uncle. They traded Chicago. Yeah, they traded currencies. They were a very active currency trader. CRT. You know, they developed the crush spread, and that was finding a way to trade the meal and the oil and the beans all together. And you know, and at the same time, they were heavy currency traders. I traded with. That's how I got to know them. I knew them from currencies and stock indices. I'm trying to think where else I traded against them. currencies and stock indices. You know that famous, you know, almost million contract trade I did in British pound. I let CRT follow the rules, and they got a slice of it. Yeah, they were able to jump in to get in and match. The crowd tried to not allow them to match, and I looked at the CRT guy, who was a pretty good guy. He was one of the partners, and he's not part of the family. And I can't think of his name, but I can see him in my head. And you know, I looked at him and I said, "Well, do you have a bid?" And he says, "What do you mean?" I said, "You know, the standing." "Yeah, 250, blah, blah, blah." Good, sold. And then 800 and whatever it was, 800,000 of them traded right after that. Boy, you want to talk about like watching rats jump off a ship? You should have seen the rats run to the currency pits. It was like, what the hell just happened? That was like 1984. Me flipping out, making a trade, trading a four-way box in GBP. The world's largest trade. I don't know. I think they break those trades now. I mean, no, the size of those trades now have happened with no problem. But in those days, I mean, I broke the first 5,000 trade. I did the first 5,000 lot trade. I did the first 10,000 lot trade. Then I did an 800,000 lot trade. And boy, that was a freak out. You know, back then we charged $1 a contract. $1 a contract. That thing made a little underneath in commissions $1 million in 3 seconds. All right. Anyhow, let's see, where are we at here? We are looking at the beans. I don't think the Dukascopy has anything else but the beans at this point. Anybody want to see anything particular? There's a stock indices. Let's see where they're at. Let's first take a look at the the Grand Lady, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Right there on Dukascopy. And let's go up to here and find it right there. And let's turn that on like so. And you can see on Dukascopy, it's turning up. It's trying to get going here. The Dow is. It's trading live. It should be live. Is that live? That's today, right? Yeah, that's live. And you can see here, right, let's do it on the short term right there. This is our intraday. And you can see how choppy it is. You know, went into the buy right here. This is a 1 Tesla, as we like to call it, on an intraday. You know, it's a 369 bar. And then you can see it tried to push into the sells here. And it jumps back into the buy. 2 volatility signal. No, a sell, then a volatility signal. Let's put a line in there so you can actually see what's going on. We'll make it white and full. There we are. You can see the buy goes there off the volatility signal, and then the next one confirms it, and it goes the wrong way. It goes down for a couple ticks, a couple of trades. Goes and doesn't go into a sell. It gives us 2 volatility signals right back to back, and then it does it again. It jumps up into a buy and fails again. And this time it gives us a sell right there, and that lasts for 1 bar. And it's being really sloppy, and in 3.5 minutes, if not less, the world markets will kick up. And London and Amsterdam and everybody, Frankfurt, they're all going to be joining in. Everybody's going to be joining in. And for the next 2 hours, it'll be the European markets, people who are up late in the Asian sector, and the U.S. action. And it'll be wild and woolly. And we'll see that baby jump. So then we go over to the S&P 500. Oh, I know it is. Let's just do this. Let's look at the daily just to confirm how it looks to what you're seeing on Dukascopy. Right there. Okay. And we'll switch directions here. And tune in on that. There it is. And that is the daily. You can see we are, what are we? Are we really in a daily sell that long? I guess, yeah, I guess we are. We've been in a daily sell since here. And you can see over in Dukascopy, same situation. Let's grab a hold of that mouse. You know, we've been in a daily sell there for four full days. Over here on Chicago Quant, it's been even uglier, where it's been in a sell here, it went the wrong direction, didn't go into a buy here, and now it's back down again. And the last, one, two, three, four, fifth day, now it's trying to perk up. We'll see. You can see the weekly. It's interesting. The Dow has been in a weekly sell since here. We're looking at the right thing? Yes, we are. No, yes. What is that? Yes. No. What is it? ZM. ZM is soybean meal. We're looking at the wrong thing. I knew something didn't make any sense there. There it is. There's the grand lady. Because I would have been showing you that we were losing. There's no way in the world I'm going to let my math lose and not show you it. So you can see here it went into the sell for a day or 2 days, and then on Friday it went back into the buy. That's what it is right there. Let's put that buy in there. And then, it's in a weekly buy too. You can see that, right in here. Then let's jump over to the S&P 500, right there. Put that up on Chicago Quant. There it is. And you can see there at the same time, how's that worked out? Oh yeah, so there it is. The S&Ps have been in also a daily buy for a day. You can see it on the fact check spreadsheets, 1 day each, down in lines 27 and 26. And you can see it on Chicago Quant, it's through the line and we're having the first greens. So we're starting to see that action too. And we should be seeing the markets kick up and get nuts. And let me just show you on the Dukascopy, they have the Tech 100, which is this one right there, the NASDAQ 100. Let's take a look at that. Put that up on Dukascopy. Let's see, right there. We got to come up with a name for this webinar today, too. How about Jackson Hole? Zoom Jackson Hole with the greats. Let's see, right there, Tech 100. There it goes. And this baby's going to start kicking. And yeah, it's already up. It's up and running. We'll let J4X fill in, and then we'll shift over to the short term again, just to watch the wild action of it. It'll fill in a second there. And I want to move mine into that. And let's do it again now, right there. There's the Tech 100. Well, let's show you the short term until it fills in, because it's too much fun. It's a 1 Tesla, and we can widen that out for you. And it went into the buy here. It's been running up for, what's that, for the last minute and a half. So it's gone from 15,130 to 15,100 and almost 50 at this point. See that right there? The high is 49 evens. Still in the buy there. Let's see, make sure they're not saying anything to me. Start an education case. Let's see, yeah, 1 minute ago. Okay, good. So none of this chatter on the Dukascopy thing is me. Okay, good. All right, guys. This is Doc from North America. TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. And we will catch you all on the flip side on Tuesday. So this is Doc saying arrivederci. Happy trails to you. Until we meet again. Happy trails to you from this singing, trading friend. Ta-ta for now, traders.